have the name and the face to go together. But we're excited that you guys were able to join us this evening. We have a wonderful lineup for y'all, panelists. They're going to go into some details as far as like how they got started. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Be mindful, try to stay on mute if you do have a question. Again, you can use the chat to drop those in there or use the hand raise reaction button or button and just so we could call on you on Q&A. Um, but with that all being said, I'm going to introduce our actual host. I'm just doing introductions, okay? I was greeting you guys. I'm a greeter. So I'm gonna introduce you to our host JT. He is the visionary or one of the visionary founders of Black IT Academy. Guiding and continuing growth and impact is his thing. He's very passionate about it. He has close to a decade of IT or in the IT industry, anywhere from like DevOps to like his current role, which is customer success manager. Outside of Black IT Academy, he is also an entrepreneur and actively mentoring people that wants to get into the DevOps space. So if you are interested, hit him up. Uh, like I said, he is passionate about building community and driving growth. He now brings that exact same energy if you guys have not seen before we even got started. He brings that energy as our host, facilitating a space for connection and conversation. So, with that being said, JT, the floor is yours.
Man, oh man, I appreciate the warm welcome, hand claps, all of the above. But more than anything, I appreciate all of you all that joined. Right, you could be anywhere on a Wednesday night. You're here with us, and that means a lot to us. Right, we started Black IT Academy roughly about a year ago. I think one of my co-founders is on the line and can keep me honest. But the most important thing is that we're here, we're together, and we're all black, baby. You know what I mean? And there's something great to be said about that. But tonight's not about me. It's about you, and it's also about some of our talented panelists. We have two in the building tonight. One, you'll see Shells, the soloist. What can't I say about Shells? She's amazing. While she's not one of the co-founders per se, she has founded a lot of the programs, projects, and a lot of what we do that makes Black IT Academy successful today. Just to name a few, man, where do I start? Let's go with mock interviews. She does resume reviews. She provides one-on-one advice for those that are interested in things like project management. In her actual career, she's a project manager by trade, but she also talks with executives and has a great presentation. You all will see that in our discussion here today. And she's guided by her motto, which I really, really appreciate, to eliminate hierarchies and close gaps within organizations. So bridging that gap is what we're all about. And there's nobody better than Shells that embodies that. So please, I see a few hearts, a few claps. Give it up for Miss Shells. We're lucky to have her here tonight. And then I'm going to switch over to one of our other co-panelists. This brother reached out to me on Facebook of all places. So there's a lot of memes, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that, but there's also unity and there's also a spirit of collaboration. And this young brother reached out to me to say, hey, look, I see what you're doing. I'm interested and I want to get down. More importantly, he's self-taught. So over 10 years in the IT field, self-taught. He did programming, C++, COBOL, networking. I mean, damn, his resume is long, right? So he's got his own IT consulting company. So all my entrepreneurs, all my hustlers, make sure that you reach out to this young brother. And right now he's a cloud engineer for a large hospital. Give it up for Selma, who's going to be on our panel here this evening. And I don't see Jarrell,
Okay.
so yeah, indeed, indeed. I don't see Jarrell, so we'll jump into maybe like a little bit of an icebreaker. I mean, this is Black IT Academy, am I right? So let's talk about staple soul food items. Put them in the chat. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say potato salad. My grandmama's potato salad has to be like number one on my list. It is not a soul food gathering unless she is making ham hocks. I could tell who's from South Carolina. Mac and cheese, man. Yeah, if you say chitlins, moderators, make sure. I don't know if we want that kind of spirit. I don't know if we want that kind of energy in this chat. Neck bones. I respect it. Oh, Sel, you said chip, man. You might. I don't know if you're gonna be a panelist no more, man. I can't. I don't.
Wow. I just hit enter.
Black Eyed Peas. Let's see. Low vibrational plates. Oh wow. Pig feet. Unk, bro. Unk is the BITA troll. The beta troll. Straight up. What else we got? I'm trying to see what the consensus is. I see mac and cheese a lot. Yeah, whole lot of mac and cheese. Pig lips. Shells, come off of mute. You're gonna have to explain yourself. I'm done. I'm done letting these answers slide. And you're one of the panelists, so you might as well go ahead and warm it up. Let's go.
Um, you never had pig lips before?
No, ma'am.
Girl, no. What store you even get that from?
Well, I'm gonna do like what Joe Biden said. Not was Joe Biden? Yeah, Joe Biden. I ain't said his name in a long time. Uh, let me not go there where I was about to go. Pig lips. I haven't had them since I was a little girl. Y'all haven't had pig lips, ham hocks, turkey necks,
Ham hocks, turkey
greens.
necks. Yes.
Everything
Uh,
but pig lips. I've had pig feet, but
you
not
ain't never
pig
had
lips.
pickled pig lips with Doritos?
No, country bumpkin. No, we have not. Okay.
I mean, you got to be walking to the mailbox barefoot down the dirt road to get them pig lips, ain't it?
No,
I
ma'am.
used I used to eat clay dirt with my granny. We used to go dig them worms up and go fishing. So I don't know what to tell you. No, so let me just say this to be fair. My mom did not cook pig lips, but my grandmother and my aunt um they would cook them sometimes with greens. So yeah, you never had pig ears,
Pig ears
baby?
and pig feet, but not pig lips.
Yeah, the lips. You have pig lips, pig ears. It was like I said, we didn't eat it a lot. As a matter of fact, we didn't really eat a lot of pork in my house. But when I would go to other family members' houses, they would have all parts of the pig there. So I'm actually just like being dramatic. So like me, like I've never made any pig lips. I was trying to think of some of the other ones that I haven't had in a long time since I was a little girl.
Frog
I don't know.
legs.
Frog legs are not that bad. Somebody hit possums and coons on the regular. Okay, that is backwoods right there. My uncles used to cook rabbits, but damn, that was a good icebreaker question. All right, so let's jump into things. I feel like I know everybody on a different level now. Unc seems like he's shaking his head no in disapproval, and that's unfortunate. So how about this? We started off with soul food. Let's get into some questions about IT and tech with some of our panelists here today. Shells, I'm gonna start off with you since you didn't already warmed up the crowd with your pig lips. Let's go with this. What was the moment or experience that made you say, I want to work in tech? So your like defining moment.
So, my defining moment when I decided I really don't know what was like that one definitive moment, but I just remember being in a Facebook chat with about seven other Black folks, and all everybody in that chat were mostly worked in tech, if I'm not mistaken. And just randomly, I was like, you know what? There needs to be more Black people in tech, just random. And so one of my friends, who I also consider my mentor as well, started talking about like all the things that he has done to like bring people in, like young kids in, um, going, I think he would like go to schools and things of that nature, or like offer like services for free and stuff like that. And so one day, he, like I said, he had already pivoted, like to tech, and he wasn't really like even a direct friend of mine. We had a mutual friend, and he made a post one day saying that there were people, Black folks, that was in tech that was, making like good money and stuff. And so I thought my entryway would be the cybersecurity because that's where I wanted to be, because of all of the, what it all entails, or what, at least, or what I think it entails. And so what happened was, long story, sorry to kind of like ramble on, but it was a post, and I just I felt like it was a sign from God that I need to take a leap. I was working in education. I was an English high school teacher, and I've worked elementary school before, education before as well. But the last school that I taught at was high school. And so I think when I left education, well, traditional education at least, I think I was only making like, with bonuses, maybe like 68,000 or something like that. And so I think what was that pivotal moment for me was that I could work smarter and get paid more for my time with less distress. And so I made the decision there. I'm like, okay, more money. I mean, 68,000 is like peanuts. And I need more money, and I need lots of it. And so if I can work less and get paid more, sign me up.
That's a pretty simple win-win type of situation, right? How long ago was this, more or less, for context?
So close to maybe like, I would say close to like 10 years now. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. When you made the pivot, Sel, talk to us, brother. Same question. What was your defining moment? What made you think to yourself, like, yo, I really want to work in tech?
Well, I didn't really have like a defining moment. Uh, Fortunately, I wanted to be in IT since I was like 5. So like when I was little, I wanted to like make my own video games, and it just spurred since there. Like I chased down the PS5. I learned how to like jailbreak it. Like I mean, not the PS5, the PSP. So like back in those days, like I was actually doing those. So I was getting really interested in that and learned HTML from there, and honestly just stayed on it since 5.
Gotcha. And was there like for both of you actually, once you get into IT or once you start working at it, I think there are like certain confirmations to let you know, like, yo, I'm in the right place, right? With any career field. So maybe you wouldn't mind walking us through where you had that aha moment, like, this is what I like to do, this is what I'm going to do.
Um, it was probably, I think I was probably in the IT probably like 4 years. Like I had just learned COBOL and like what is it, the other one? It's like COBOL. It's basically learning the JCL language, and that's for like mainframes and stuff. I was through with IT at that point. Like I didn't want to do that. I hate COBOL to the death of me. I never get back into it. But after I went there, like I got promoted to be a systems admin, and I was like actually watching one of the network engineers. Like he was actually like watching packets. I didn't know what it was at the time, but he was watching packets, and I'm just like, at this point, like I think this is kind of where I want to sit. Like to me, it's like a puzzle piece. So I'm just like, all right, okay, well, these sequences mean these, and these are why these alerts are going off. And I just got more intrigued into it. And at that point, I realized like I'm like, all right, it's more than just video game development because I was learning C++ too. But then I realized like I got introduced to it. I swear it was like a giant door opening for me. And I'm just like, all right, it's more to it than what I thought it was. It's not just hacking. It's not building a video game.
Right.
And at that point, I just sat in it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the confirmation is what you don't like, as well as what it is that you do enjoy. Whenever
Yeah.
you get to sit with different people or have different experience, or what I call, just raising your hand. If you raise your hand every now and then just to go sit with somebody, you might see something that you either like or you don't like, and you know where not to waste your time or where to put it toward. Shells, talk to us. What gave you like the confirmation while you were in tech or when you were making that switch to let you know that you were in the right place?
I don't. I don't feel like once I got in tech that I necessarily had an aha moment. I think when I answered what I call the call, I felt like that was my confirmation there. Because it was like very crystal clear. Like it was kind of like this still voice of this is for you. You need to do this. Whatever you have to do, whatever you have to sacrifice to make this commitment, you need to do it. So it came before I actually got a job, and it was, I mean, of course, it was like really frustrating. It took a lot of hard work and sacrifice for me to be able to like do it. So my confirmation became before I actually got there because I feel like once I got there, like every I guess level, there's a different challenge. So, and it can feel a little overwhelming because you're like, okay, you learn what you need to learn, you get the search that you need to get. Now there's a new challenge, navigating the workplace, showing up, being able to make an impression. So I feel like I didn't even necessarily have a moment to really like soak it in because I'm like, okay, show improve type of thing. So that's how I felt.
On that topic, actually, I want to pick up where you kind of left off on that, because that's a really important part of just working in tech. I know we have some people in the chat that are trying to get into technology. Maybe you've had a professional job before, maybe you're already in technology and you're like, yo, I'm trying to level up. So what Shells is speaking on in terms of playing the game, so to speak, right? Shells, how do you feel like you best show up at work, and what's worked out for your career when it comes to either office politics or getting the next promotion or getting to the next level? What's one piece of advice that you can give the folks that are tuning in tonight?
I don't think that there's like one answer for it, but because sometimes when I make decisions, I don't even know if it's the right one. Um, I try to show up as myself, like with context. I was listening to something the other day that said, um, I think the person was on LinkedIn, and they said, I don't need you to show up as yourself. I need you to show up as your professional self. And I think everybody kind of has a line because you want to be like true and authentic, but you also know that this is a professional environment that being your authentic self may not necessarily be well received. So I think you just kind of have to find like an equal like balance. But I have in my career focused a lot on relationships, like heavy relationships. That is definitely, I feel like, been a secret of mine. I'm very gutsy. I'm very ballsy. I'm not a person that really, I mean, I follow rules. Yes. I follow policy, but I'm not as scared. I'm not scared to make a fool of myself, if that makes sense. And so I rather just take a risk and see where I land than to not take one at all. So yeah.
So there is a risk in not doing anything. Number one, thank you for sharing. And then it seems like a theme of what you mentioned was just being bold, right? At the end of the day, what that means to you and what that means to everybody could be a little bit different, right? It could be just doing a little bit more, or asking a question that somebody else might be too embarrassed to ask. But it seems like would that encapsulate kind of your mindset is just be bold, go for it, ballsy, gutsy. I heard a lot a lot of different describing words.
You definitely have to be ballsy. I feel like it's kind of a reflection of your confidence because being in the IT space is not for the weak. You will get run over, whether it's on purpose or not. People will question your credentials. People will question, people can be just straight out rude. Someone could help you with something as simple as anything, and they may go share with the whole office as if like you didn't, and it could be an embarrassing moment. I mean, I've gone through something like that before where you may ask like a simple question or so, and then someone make light of it or so. So I feel like you really have to put on your A game, and be ready to respond to anything, but also show up knowing what you're doing. And if you don't, you better work day and night till you figure it out and on your break. So yeah.
Shell started with the heat, man. That's a truth bomb for your ass, right? It's like you have to be strong. You have to be confident in what it is that you're doing. So if you confirm, like, hey, I want to do this, you have to stand on that in your interactions with other people, not just to yourself. So what would you add to that, brother?
I can add first to be unapologetically yourself. I kind of agree with Shells with being professional, but I don't like to coat too much of that because if my true self come out, I don't want them to be, scared of it or call it aggression per se. I actually had a work event that was similar to that. But besides that, I think the mindset to go into it is to be proud of your work. So if you be proud of your work, it shows that you care. it show, and if you want to be proud of your work, you're normally going to like put your effort into it. So you're going to learn, you're going to do your research, you're going to do your trial and errors, and then behind that, to showcase that, you're going to know everything about it. So whenever you're talking to a colleague, or if you're handing this off, or if you're talking to a director, you know how to explain this because it's your work. And people, honestly, people see that. Like, if you treat it like it's yours and you treat it like you care, not as this companies. Of course, it's the companies. I understand that, but it's also my work. Like, and it's also like basically my work history that kind of follows me. Oh yeah, you know, I know Selmy. He did amazing at this project. And so whenever I'm going to a different job, or if I'm needing a referral, or even if I want to pick up a project so I can grow, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, he did good. I know if I give him this task, he's gonna treat it the same way.
Right.
And I don't look at it like it's me working for the company. I look at it as like it's me working on my brand. So that's how I looked into it.
That's a bar right there. It's not me working for the company, it's me working for my brand. And yeah, you have to take care of that reputation as if it's, you know, you have to stand by it. It's like if you have a barbecue place, everything that comes out of that spot has your name on it, right? So the work that you produce is the same thing. I think this kind of goes into another question that I had about unwritten rules. So do you all feel, I'll start kind of high level, do you all feel that there's unwritten rules specifically for Black people in tech? And you could break that down how you would like, Black male, Black female, whatever the case is. Selma, I'll start with you since you just kicked off.
Yeah, I do feel like that there's unwritten rules. It took me a while to get one of the ones, and I think this goes for any individuals. And this is probably just a me thing, but I feel like companies and coworkers feel obligated to your personal life. Like there's trespass boundaries. They're a little too nosy, and I can't tell if it's that them being interested. For my history, I feel like it's just that they're being nosy and they don't have an interest in it, or they don't want to add value to it, but they just kind of want to know who you are and what mistakes you made, if that makes sense. Other than that, on the Black instance, I've been called aggressive. I walk around with the same smile I got now, like so serious. I was called aggressive because whenever I see bullshit, essentially, like I'll call it out. Like
Keep it
even
real.
if you're the most serious senior, and it's not per se to like talk down on their whatever work they've done. Like I just say, like I can tell that you half-assed it. If I've known I've been proud of my work this entire time, I can kind of, you know, I kind of peak game if you're not being proud of it, or if you're cutting the corners. And that's essentially what happened. But what ended up happening because of me calling it out, it wasn't how I expected it to be taken, which is them to take their criticism and grow from it and actually be able to give me feedback behind it. But it ended up flipping on me, and I was called aggressive after that. And I I think I want to take that notion to be mindful of how much bullshit you call out. I guess that's probably my take on it.
Where do you draw the line? If that's the case, right? Because we hear be bold, you know, be unapologetically you. So where do you, how do you navigate that?
Mine's was honestly paper trails. That's probably the most best way to go about it. You don't have to vocalize it. If you do vocalize it, make sure you have a paper trail behind it. Write it as professional as possible, but still calling out like this is bullshit. And because what's going to end up happening is your managers are going to say something about it. HR is going to want to know about it. Everybody's going to want to know about it. And if you're able to introduce this extra step of evidence that you had because you want to ensure yourself, because you are Black,
Right.
and they will look at you like you're aggressive whenever you notice that they cut corners, because you can't. 9 times out of 10, if we're Black and we're in this industry, we really can't cut corners. So if you're peeping that game, they don't like it.
Facts. I could see Selma at work per my last email. Professionally, respectfully at the end of
Respectfully.
you know what I'm saying? You gotta put the bow on it. Shells, talk to us. How do you navigate those unwritten rules? And I mean, what are your thoughts about it at a high level, and then maybe even a personal experience if you're willing to share?
It's real tough.
There's that many? Uh-oh.
It is tough because once I pass probably like that 30 to 60 day probationary period of me like filling out a new environment, then I bring out my other person. And once I get to that point, once you just then irritated my soul, my mind, my body, I just don't care. I cannot be held responsible for what I'm about to say. So within context, like I said, I always will remain professional, but once you didn't went past the point, I may treat it with silence. I may just flash out in the moment. I just may ignore you altogether. You may be a person that I need to talk to, and I just completely ignore you until I feel like talking to you. And I'm just being honest, and that's what I love about this community, because we can be our authentic self. Like I don't want to like pretend like, oh, everything is cookie cutter. No, these people get on my nerves. Like I can't stand them. Like for real. And being virtual don't shield you from them being annoying. And when I say them, it don't matter who it is.
Be real.
They can be one of the people. They could not be one of the people. Like they, So I still need some work in that area. I'm just going to be completely honest. I think I have some legendary questions that I have asked. I have said some crazy things. And I have, I will always try to make sure that I'm going to always do my job. But I do recognize that things are, can be a little different with how leadership or organizations respond to people from different backgrounds.
True.
And so I'm cognizant of that. The way in which I try to navigate through that is by just establishing relationships with the right people. So like, and hopefully the person, I have the good relationships with people at the top that can speak on my behalf in case I decide to flash out on somebody and be like, you know what? That's Shelly. She's really good. She just had she just wasn't having, a good day today or something like that. And I've seen that happen before, and I've seen it happen with my bosses that have had my back when I have had to correct people that are in higher positions than me. Mm-hmm. But it was in my role that, for me to hold them accountable. So even though they were at a higher level, I've called out people in leadership. I have, you name it, I've done it. And it's not that I just go and say everything, because I know that, I'm not invincible, and I know that they can just put the hammer down at any given moment. But I'm aware of the surrounding, of an environment. But at the end of the day, the day got to end.
No doubt. Yo, is it me, or did anybody get a little bit nervous when Shells first started in the way that she was looking at the camera? It got warm. Hey, Shells, we cool, right? If I said anything that might have offended, I know I joke around a lot, but
no, I started thinking about something that had happened.
I could tell.
But I think I think I don't know. I always try to treat everybody right. If I have to work with someone, I always try to lead and respect and everything. But when I've had to deal with people, and hopefully I'm not veering off of topic, but when I've had to deal with people who are just very problematic people, it's very touch and go with them. Once I've tried all that I can, and then I've also tried to bring other people in to try to bridge the gap there. And when you've just chosen that you're going to do whatever you want to do, and you're going to be rude or be a little snot, right. Okay, I'm just going to ignore you.
She said, "I'm going to respond in kind," right?
Like, what are you going to do? I'm ignoring you. We don't want to talk to each other. I will send you an email. Have a nice day.
No doubt. As a quick break, number one, thank y'all for getting so personal, so candid right? With a lot of these formats, people are nervous to be their complete self. So a lot of what we're talking about, a lot of people shy away from that when it comes to being on a Zoom and et cetera. And man, I can't thank y'all enough for just keeping it real, because that's what the people want to see. And you're not the only ones, obviously, that are going through that. And I think for everybody that's in chat, one thing to note is, have these conversations. So that way you can work through it, especially with somebody else that kind of understands, that comes from the culture, that has a respect for what it is that you're going through. So speaking of the chat, anybody that did not get the memo, this is an Ask Me Anything, AMA, completely open, right? Unless Sunshine, she the boss. So unless Sunshine says no, but we got a few questions queued up that I'll start going down. Also, some of my helpful moderators will also be posting ways to connect with both Selma and Shells as well, to be able to have a one-on-one. If you like something that they say, you want to reach out to them, or you just want to support what it is that they're doing. We don't ask you anything besides for your time to be here, right? To get this kind of game. So at the very least, I would hope that you would offer to support our panelists. But enough of me. Let's get to some questions. So I got Bradley talking about, what are some mental wellness routines that you have in place to make sure that IT burnout does not happen? I think that's a perfect segue outside of what we just mentioned. Selma, you mind kicking us off, brother?
Mine is honestly reading books. Like that is the perfect way to get my mindset out of work and into a completely different world than I'm in. I do that honestly probably after every workday. I read a book. And I used to have a really, really hard time. I'm self-taught, so like a lot of my time went like actually after hours. I used to have a really hard time not looking at my emails. Like I still look at my personal emails, swear to God, at least once every hour today. But what that's changed is I don't look at my work email no more. I live for flexibility, and I think that's kind of where I like pivoted for my career now. So like any employer that I'm hired into, they understand like my work hour, my time ends when I leave that building, or whenever it's time for me to clock out, or at 3 or 4. I'm a cloud engineer now, so honestly, they don't even know when I'm gone. But after that, I don't want to do no more work. So I'm ready for my next day. I think I put it so that if I can be 100% whenever I rest, I can be 110% the next day. So if you bother me after that, I'm gonna give you like 30%, 20%. You're not gonna get my best me. And honestly, that usually keeps them off my back.
I think that's a sharp way to go about it. I put it into the chat, but always remember to work to live, not the opposite way, right? We're not living to work. So even the good man upstairs, rested on the seventh day in order to be able to be energized for the rest of the work that needed to be done. So I think that's a great way to go about it. So we got book reading. Shells, what do you do for mental health and to avoid burnout?
Take a shot in the middle of the day. Kidding. Jokey joke.
No, you ain't. No, you're not.
She got the chat lit. Let's go.
Get your shot of cognac or tequila if you're working from home. No kidding. I would say the most important, I have had to do that though, early in my career. But I would say having a tribe of people in office or at the job. I mean, that could be a little tricky, but outside of the job that you can vent to. I have had so many moments where I was so frustrated, and I had people that's like right in the same industry that I could call on. I could text and say, "Hey, do you have a minute? I need to vent. Hey, you got a minute? You got 45 minutes? Hey, I'm having, this," because it can be overwhelming, like especially like if you're in a company and you don't have no people there, like your people, and you don't feel like you could talk to anybody. So me being able to have that tribe of people that I could call, I mean, I got a list of, I don't know, I say out of close people in the industry, probably maybe like a list about 10, 15 people I could call at the like middle of the day. Like, hey, I need you. And so that is something that really helped me, having those people that are close. And sometimes some people feel like may feel that they don't have those relationships yet, but you got to really work for those relationships, and you got to be that person for other people too. So that is really what helped me a whole lot, being able to like call on people when I was frustrated or when I didn't know what to do. And all of this was like, mental, like it helped me to be able to talk out things. I'll give you an example. The person that I was just telling you all about, I didn't mention a name or anything, but that I just decided to stop talking to. I had a friend, or we're still friends. We do the same kind of work. And I reached out to her middle of the day. I'm like, hey, this person was, I'm not going to mention his role, just in case if some other familiar people in the audience. But this person, I had to work with it. They were on my team. And so I reached out to a friend and I said, hey, this is what I'm facing in this particular situation. And I felt very overwhelmed by this situation. And so that person, I took about 30, 45 minutes to talk to her. And she really gave me, like, she empowered me to really approach it like head on. And so she was like, listen, get off the phone with me. You are going to call an impromptu meeting with this person, send them a message in Teams, and this is what you're going to tell them. And I did it. Like, if I didn't talk to her, I probably wouldn't have felt like empowered to do that. But I had so much anxiety from the situation, but she really helped me through that. So your tribe of people, like, that was number one for me, for sure.
So finding safety within the community is what it sounds like, is really important, right? Having somebody to call in those events that you kind of get worked up. It's almost like a sponsor, right? or like a pastor for all my God-fearing people. Somebody that you could trust that'll give you some advice, sometimes just to keep you from spazzing out, and every now and then a little bit of Johnny Walker, a little bit of what is it, Casamigos shells in the middle of the day to get right.
Not the Johnny Walker. It is so funny.
Blue label only. Anyway, let's go with the next one. I got a really interesting one. So for somebody, especially Selma, self-taught, somebody asked, what is the most useless certification? He said all of them. No.
I don't know. I feel really bad about this one, but I think I can't remember if it was the CEH or the CCNA. It was one of the two, actually, maybe both. But I feel like that they were probably on par with being useless. I've had somebody that had a CCNA get into the network environment and didn't know what to do, and we were a Meraki house, so it was very odd.
Gotcha. And then, yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of flack for that, right? Because CCNA is really highly regarded.
It is, and I tell people to stay away from it. Go to do CompTIA Sec Plus if you're gonna do anything. CCNA is, I don't think it has enough like real world experience. That's to me. I don't know. I took it once, failed it, and it could be me being biased. I don't know, but I've played in Meraki. I've been in Meraki for 5-6 years, so like I did really well with Meraki. I didn't pass the CCNA, and I haven't had good history with it, I guess, like credibility wise. Learning network, just learning Sec Plus, and they give you the foundations and everything else that you need for it.
Keep it all the way real, brother. I appreciate that honesty. I think somebody else did in the chat as well. CCNA, can you break that down for those that might not be network folks or haven't been in IT for long? CCNA, what is it? Yeah,
okay,
that's for you.
Cisco Certified Network Administrator.
There you go.
Admin or something like that. I'm sorry, guys. CCNA is that. It's for networking essentially, and they usually house around Cisco equipment, but it could be diverse. So like even if you get the CCNA, you can use it and be on the Juniper network equipment or other ones. It's supposed to be versatile, and you're supposed to learn like the network and from the network structure. But I just don't think that it does that enough or well enough for it to actually be versatile amongst all of those things.
That's honest. And then we got the other side of the house, project management, agile, scrum, all the above. Shells, what do you think is the most useless certification, or maybe even just overhyped?
I don't feel like I can answer that. I guess with me just being a teacher, naturally there's so many things I can pull from to like learn. Do you need like a lot of these, well, certifications to know how to be a project manager or a scrum master? No, you don't. I guess most certifications you can probably like, sell. He's self-taught. Um, do you need certifications to know how to do a good job? No. Will having a certification teach you how to do a job? At least not. Okay, so I know there's a lot of certifications, but I'll say maybe from project management, Scrum point of view, no, it's not. Because once you get into the environment, it's like, I'm not gonna say it's completely different. It teaches you the basics, but even with those basics, it doesn't teach you how to do your job like at all. And because like I feel like on the PM side or SM side, you are always faced with so many different scenarios. A certification can't necessarily, like I said, it can give you those foundational pieces, kind of like the Bible of how you need to move. But even with that, like you can't even be completely rigid. You just got to use some common sense. I'm like, okay, how do I need to behave in this particular situation? What is the
Right.
best approach in this particular situation? Like a certification is not going to teach you emotional intelligence. It's not. Certification is not going to teach you how
Yeah.
to navigate a political corporate political landscape. It's not going to do that. So I think, for people that are accustomed to working in a corporate environment or some type of professional environment, you'll have like an idea of certain things. But I like I wouldn't say that any of the certifications that I have are useless per se, but you also don't need them to do a good job. Yeah, that would be my answer.
That makes sense. Yeah. Knowing how to prioritize the work versus the somebody put it in the chat. They said practice versus theory. It's kind of like, I don't know if anybody, if you watch or play sports, it's like you can know the playbook, but that doesn't mean that you could run the play, right? So the people are different. There's a lot of different variables. And I love these questions that are coming in. So if you're in chat, keep firing them up. I got one from my brother Lee, who I didn't even know was on the call. Thanks, Lee. Let's go with how to deal with situations where an external hire is brought in to be the lead, but you have to train them. And like basically, you have to train somebody that was brought in above you, right? So maybe you were up for promotion, didn't get the promotion, somebody else came in, and then you had to, train them on how to do their job. So I see you laughing already, man. So I already know you got something to bless us with. Talk to us.
This is probably more of my, I guess, negative trait. I probably wouldn't train them. I probably politely decline, especially if it's something that I was supposed to like have like a linear growth for. I know I applied. I know I can do the job. I got the experience. Y'all probably just gonna fail and get fired. I don't know. I don't know. It's like this. This is just my
Bro
honest
said sink or
opinion.
swim.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, I put the documentation. Like, of course, you can get access to it, but I'm not about to coach you through it. I've been here longer. I should have had the job. And I guess I'm probably selfish on that part too, because I just think I should have had it. So I don't know.
No, that's straight up. That's honest. Shells, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, or hypothetically, if you were, how would you navigate something like that?
I've never really been in the exact situation like that, but I am going through something a little similar. And my approach is a little different. It just depends on the organization that I'm at. So, but this person has been at this organization longer, but I felt like I feel like I'm more qualified than that person. Um, so I had already got one promotion And so I was looking to get another one very soon. But I'm a person like honestly, I'm very gracious when it comes to I could take the lead, I can be a team player, and I can be a really good team player. Really good team player. So um to a point where, like, say for instance, especially like I said, it depends on the environment. So the environment that I'm in, most of my department is mostly female. So I usually try to take a different kind of role. Like I said, just depending on the environment. So um with her, I when she got her promotion, I kind of knew that she was going to get a promotion. My director had told me that they would be deciding, it just needed to get its approvals. So I was the first, I mean, she's a Black girl. So, I definitely wanted to show support to her and congratulate her. So I helped her with her office, set it up for her. I didn't set it up by myself, but I helped her. And before then, she really wasn't that talkative. She kind of came off a little bit snooty. So instead of just like, dismissing it and being like, okay, she's a, whatever, a da I was just, I was like, let me just give her a chance. And so when I did that, she really opened up to me and she really saw, I guess she really appreciated the fact that I was somebody, because of course, this organization, I'm new to it. So she appreciated it. So we now have like what seems to be so far like a really good, genuine rapport with one another where we talk more and stuff like that. For in that particular situation, I just wanted to be supportive to her and to let her know that, I would be here for her, even though I wasn't the one that got promoted. She's still really good. She's really still a really smart girl. And I wanted to show that support, and I wanted other people to see that I was also supporting her. So not like I was doing it for show, but I
Right.
wanted people to be influenced by that. So yeah.
So we got a little bit of both, right? Some was like, you made the decision, you made the bed, you got to lay in it, right? Shell's, when possible, supportive, especially if it's somebody that she's might be internally rooting for. And it seems like there's always a mix. So Lee, hopefully that answered your question. I got this question, which people have asked in different kind of ways, but it really boils down to how can I get a full-time tech role, right? If I'm a hobbyist, I build PCs, I like video games. What else did this person say? They're working on projects at home, maybe like a smart home. So they work with tech in their day-to-day as a hobbyist. How do they transition that into a full-time tech role? Shells, we'll start with you.
How does a person turn a hobby into a full-time tech role?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, Excuse me. Putting yourself out there. I guess that's the simplest answer. Putting yourself out there, trying to find the right people, putting, those skills out in front of them. Um, that's an area that I have to even be better at myself. Um, not I feel like in a lot of ways, like culturally, we kind of like to try to put our head down, not be braggadocious, and just kind of stay like cool, calm. No, completely pop your shit, like for real. Like every chance
Talk
you
about
get.
it.
Like every chance you get, like pop it. And it may make you feel like you narcissistic. No, honey, narcissism is in as it relates to your skills. And as it relates to putting yourself out. Don't be an ugly person. Like, you don't have to be nasty and put people down or nothing like that.
Right.
But being a person that's not, like, I've seen, like, over the course of my career, even before I came to IT, like the people that were the most braggadocious, they got the most attention. Or the people that put themselves out like more, like you don't want to be humble. Like don't do that. Like we just need to delete that out of our just get rid of it. Don't be humble. Be braggadocious. Like, let people know like how great you are. Even if you feel like you're not even like 100%, it don't even matter. Like,
Facts.
just do it anyways, and just continue to grow. Like, sometimes like we are our worst, worst best critics, and we're like, oh, I could have done that. We're always like critiquing ourselves, and we're like, maybe I'm not that great. No, keep those thoughts inside and just continue to pop it. And just grow in grace, and that's it. I had an aunt one time, a aunt recently, my mom's sister, and she was just saying, God is really blessing you. Like so many things are happening well for you. Just make sure that you stay humble and keep your head down. And I was like, I will absolutely not do that. I will absolutely not do that. I won't do it. I ain't doing it no more. No. And so, family and people, a lot of times, I'll say family. I can't speak for these strangers and stuff, or people that you may not know like that. People mean well, because it has, I guess, historically been known as like, it seems tacky to do that. But you kind of have to change your mindset about that, and kind of rewire yourself to be like, you know what, it's okay to really, what some people like that are like very religious, they may say like, make your boast in the Lord. You may have some people that may say that. But I would just say like, just, don't be afraid to just like really showcase yourself. When I go out and I showcase myself, it's not because I feel like I'm fully ready. Oh my God. There are so many times I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And so, but I continue to go, and I just pray and believe and just continue to grow and say, God, just please, like, just transform me into this very polished person, that can really impact people and inspire someone else, someone younger, someone newer, someone that's currently in the industry. And so,
Right.
and we need to see that in each other, because when we show each other that, it really just kind of like gets us fired up and be like, you know what? JT told me that, so I'm gonna do it. Or Stel told me that, so I'm gonna do it. Or Unc told me that, so I'm gonna do it. So yeah.
It kind of came full circle. I respect that answer because you mentioned earlier the importance of having a tribe, but then also that could be your source of not only venting or, preventing yourself from going off on somebody, but also your inspiration, right? Like where you drive, your motivation from. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, man. Y'all are going in on the chat, and I really appreciate the feedback. Lisa mentioned things like volunteering, making content, or some of the other things. I saw LinkedIn. I like this acronym. Cash can't always stay humble. What? You know what I'm saying? Like bars, like everything that we're talking about kind of goes in collectively. Sel mentioned this earlier. Be upon unapologetically yourself. So if you are and you are confident, right, nobody can really tell you a whole lot to take away from it. But I won't speak for you, Selma. Hit us with some heat, man.
Yeah, no, Shell's hit like the nail on the head for real. Go in there and be 100% you. I say I don't want to say oversell it, but honestly, brag literally, quite literally about everything. I bragged that I stepped on a roach today. Like brag about everything you can, because you got to understand. Like once again, we are black, so we don't have. They're fortunate to be humble, but besides that, they probably don't think we can do it. Like brag about everything that you did, everything that you learned. One of the things that I tell all of my mentees is to work on your soft skills more than anything else. Like everybody that's in a hierarchy right now, like they probably don't even know how to communicate. I know how to talk to non-technicals all day long. Brag about that. Say I can talk to your grandma about how your computer messed up, and she understand it. Because to them, they understand that you know how to communicate. You communicating to me this way, and I'm supposed to be the one hiring you. I understand your technical background. Like, cool, everybody's going to come in here because they apply for the job because you normally have the requirements. But what they didn't put on their job is, do you know how to talk to non-technical people? Are you punctual? Do you know how to prioritize your own stuff? If you could wrap that up into who you are and say, yeah, whenever I come here, like any job I get to, they love me because I'm efficient. I know how to build this efficiently. I know how to multitask. I know how to give off these tasks to other people. I know how to talk to people. Soft skills are like, they are so through the roof. That's honestly how I got to where I'm at now. I talk my way quite literally through everything. I'm self-taught. I didn't have the confidence behind my technical skills. What I did have the confidence for is I can talk you out your money. I can talk you for you to pay me. Like, understand that, and that's what it is. Like, you have to sell yourself for that job, because that's something that you want. You know, especially if you know you can do the job. Like,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with talking about that job as if it's already yours. You pray about it and you put motions into to actually get that job. You own that job already. Whenever you get there, you tell them, like, this is my job. Like, I've actually given solutions to 2 companies that I interviewed for. I got the job. I gave a solution before I even got hired. I said, well, y'all probably already doing this wrong. This is a service that I use. Y'all gonna integrate it this way, and it's gonna take 2 months. But after y'all do it, it's done. But if I get on it, it'll take you 4 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, because I'm happy. They hired me with a bonus.
Let me challenge you, bro. Have you ever missed one of those expectations that you set? Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's
So
perfect. Yes, I missed those expectations.
how'd
So
you
at that
how'd you
point,
navigate that? Yeah, go ahead, my bad.
yeah, I mean, besides owning up to it, like I missed it, and I tell everybody about it. I have respect for my work, so I always own up to it. But what I do now is I undersell. Well, I think it's like I under promise and I under promise and I overachieve. So if it's going to take me 2 days to do it, I'll tell my management it's going to take me 5 days to do it, to get this done. And then if I deliver it within those 5, if I deliver it on day 5, they're going to look at me like, "Selma, you're perfect. You just told me that it's take 5 days. You got it in 5 days." But if I did it in the 2 days that I knew it was going to take, they look at me like I am amazing. You just told me 5 days and you did it in 2.
Right.
Why don't we give you more? Either give you more work, but then you negotiate more pay. Like I've learned the hard way not to I guess be mindful of like how much you're promising. Don't oversell it, but wait, yeah, I guess like don't overpromise. I think that's what it is. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't overpromise.
Yeah, both are correct. No, and I asked that question for a specific reason. Looks like somebody from the chat, Brad, had the same exact question. And the point is like, even if you are super confident, right? You plan ahead of time, so you under promise, overachieve. And if you miss that mark, the world keeps going. You know what I mean? There's still a job to
Yes,
be done. Selma said it best. Take the ownership and then move on to the next thing, right? How do I make this right? How do I course correct? These things happen all the time. For those that are nervous about, well, I don't want to put myself out there because I don't want to look silly and all that stuff. That's a circle of fear that you're kind of just rotating in. And everything that you want is on the outside of that, right? The full-time job that I saw here, leveling up for leadership and those types of things, are all, outside of that sphere of that fear. Selma, it looks like you were about to say something, bro.
oh no, you got it. You already hit it. No, you're fine. Yeah, step outside that bubble. Everything that you wanted outside of it.
Bet that. Going back to the chats, and just to get everybody aware. So if you have a question, this whole thing is not going to be recorded. We're going to close here pretty soon, and then we're going to stop the recording. So for those of you all who are nervous, you don't want your questions to be aired out, etc., or maybe you want to come off of mute and just have more of a casual conversation, we're going to stop the recording and the stream and have a little bit more of an intimate conversation with our panelists if they're willing and open to hanging out with us for a little bit longer. But to move on to the next question, I like this one. Do any of you all feel as if IT, at any point in your career, that IT was not the correct move for your life? So maybe where you were rethinking the decision to have been in IT, could have been a situation or otherwise. Whomever like to start, go for it.
No. Um, I never thought it was the wrong career move. Even with its challenges, even when the market is ghetto, um, I still wouldn't make a different decision. I feel like it was kind of like the answer, because I used to always want to be a lawyer, and I didn't have a backup plan because it's what I always wanted to do. And so I'm like, Lord Jesus, what am I going to do with myself? Like, this is what I've always wanted to do my whole life, and there's nothing that I felt like could fulfill it. And I never really wanted to be a teacher in traditional education, if that makes sense. And so, I've always been like an entrepreneur, like a hustler. So, that was a given. But it was that fulfilling piece, for me making a decision not to like practice law and stuff like that. So no, I think for me, I the only thing there was a reminder of is I have to continue growing because like I said, like this industry isn't for the weak. So it's not an industry where you're like, oh, I'm just going to do this one thing. I'm going to stay here for 30 years. I guess for some people, maybe, but you have to continue to grow. You have to continue to stretch yourself. So no, it's just a constant reminder. The market is a reminder that I need to get better, learn more things, know how to do more things, learn more complex things. Yeah, that's it. So I'm never leaving. I don't feel.
Shell said, I like it here. I'm not mad at that at all, sis. Yeah, I respect that. Selma, you got the same approach, or what are you thinking?
No, my approach is completely off. I definitely questioned it. Like I said before, this was what I wanted to do since I was a kid. So like I never imagined anything else. I went through a really, really hard time. I couldn't get a good paying IT job, and I stay in the South. Like I'm in Arkansas. Like I had my friend tell me, like she told me, like you have to jump out. Like you have to jump out and get it, because like if not, you're just never going to get it. Like you praying for this stuff and then it falls in your lap and then you're denying it. You low-key just rejecting your own prayers. But like I didn't think that I belonged in the field. I didn't think I was smart enough. I ended up going to college. I failed my computer science. It was like computer programming class twice. My professor came to me after class and said, "You might want to think about a different career path." That killed me, right? So like I'm like in the back of my head, I'm just like, all right, well, I don't have a degree. I don't have any mentors. I don't have any connections into the IT realm. The title was systems administrator. I was getting paid like 50 an hour. 50 a year. Jesus, not an hour. I wish. I was getting paid 50 a year, and that was out in Florida. I ended up quitting and then coming back to Arkansas, and I still was getting the same pay. Like now, if anybody knows about Arkansas, like we don't give good money. So like if you're looking for like 6-figure careers, I'd say if you know somebody, then maybe, but stay away. Other than that, but within all of that, like I had a whole identity crisis whenever it came to IT. I didn't train for anything else. I know I could be good at other stuff, but was it really worth it? Or was it really what I should be doing? I had to get in my own self and like actually tell myself like this is what I'm here for. Like I'm built for this, and obviously I showed myself out on that.
How did you come to that decision, right? So it goes from somebody telling you, hey, you don't belong here, or this isn't, might not be something that you want to do. I'm sure you're giving us the brief version, but if there's one piece of advice, because somebody might be struggling with that right now, where they're like, man, these people or this job or whatever, I might be looking for an exit or whatever. How did you mentally like kind of get through that?
That's gonna be hard. It took a lot for me. Let me see if I can pull one thing out. It really is like just kind of how Shells was saying, like be brave and then be yourself. Like have that confidence in it that you did make the right decision. Because all in all, like this is all like not necessarily contradicting yourself. Like if you know you want to be in this field and you act as if you want to be in this field, you're in this field. That's it. That's all. Like it's not a I think or I might not be. You make yourself capable to be in this job. IT is not easy by no means. If you can understand half of the jargon, you belong here. If you can understand a quarter of the jargon, you belong here. And make that an understanding within yourself that if you belong here and you act as if you belong here and you tell yourself that every morning, if you got to, you're going to convince yourself that you do belong here and that you don't have to question it no more. Don't question your own ideas.
That's a good point. Kind of going back to that self-confidence. And these are really good questions. And more importantly, I really want to thank my panelists. We're not wrapped up yet. We got more content, but I just want to shout out the fact that this is one of the most transparent conversations that I've ever had with other folks in IT based on, their struggles, and they're not agreeing with each other on everything, right? So you might be somewhere in the middle of both of these answers. So keep those questions coming to get different perspectives. Speaking of answers, I think my brother Jarrell snuck into the back. He was going to be our third panelist. Probably working hard. Jarrell, you got audio?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Cool. I just wanted to make sure I could hear you first. Hold on, let me talk my shit about Jarrell real quick. So you've probably
Oh my
seen this,
God, here
brother.
you go.
You've probably seen
Y'all,
this,
that's why I snuck
brother,
into the back.
on the DevOps coffee chat. You've probably seen him around in the Discord. He goes under a pseudonym because he's on probation and or the witness protection program. Ducking the law right now. We got Jarrell, who came out of hiding to come and chat with us today. But this brother is also self-taught, 2 years in the IT. So for all my folks that are a little bit newer, that want somebody with younger years in the game, I'll call it that away, right? Who remembers exactly what it was like transitioning, almost to the day. You're in for a treat with Jarrell. So Jarrell, you wanted to answer this question head on. What do you got for us, brother?
Yeah, man. If I didn't get to answer any of the question, I wanted to answer this one just to give you guys some perspective, maybe some hope, and hopefully some tips. Um, so the whole thing about like that moment and not even moments of being like, okay, is IT for me? I'm going to keep this really brief. I'm going to try to keep it really short. But let me see here. Can I start my video? Can I? Oh, can I? Hold on.
We gotta stop the recording though. The laws might be watching. Oh, there he goes. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna appear as a shadow with his voice like changed. Go ahead, Jarrell.
oh my goodness. Okay. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give you a really short anecdote. You see the the security plus back there. But I'm gonna give you a really short note. So around this time, I want to say, yeah, it was exactly around this time last year. I was working at Home Depot. I wasn't in my field. I was taking a night shift, and whenever I got off at night, like 1 or 2 in the morning, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself an hour to study, and then I'm gonna go to bed. And that was a difficult time because I was like, I've already gone through this training program. Shout out to Europe. They upskilled me. They gave me like the internship at Johnson and Johnson. That 6 month internship turned into like a software tester gig, like contracting gig. And so like, I felt like, what I'm saying, I felt like, yeah, like, okay, I'm established now. Um, but when Johnson and Johnson went through like their cuts and their budget cuts and stuff like that, and it was like, oh, we don't have any more money for contractors or whatever. I went to Home Depot just to like do that while I worked into my next tech role. And I found myself in this spot of, okay, will I ever get back to this spot or will I ever go beyond this place? Um, and working at Home Depot, while it was fine, it was fine. It was work is work, whatever. It wasn't what I wanted to dedicate my life to. And so there was just this one really particular time. Maybe it was like a bad week, or maybe I had like bad shifts or whatever. And I just really sat there and I thought, like, man, I'm putting in all this work, but I'm not getting the results that I want to see yet. Like, I know what I know, but I'm not sure how to present it to other people. Or maybe I don't sound so sure when I'm answering a question and then get feedback like, oh yeah, you're totally on path. You're on the right path. Um, and so I was just really having one of those moments. And I talked with my sister, and he's gonna say I'm under the witness protection program, JT is, but she calls me Gray. I have a couple of different names. Leave me alone. But, um, but I just really sat down and talked to her. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm really feeling down about this. I don't know if this is my field. This is what I've studied for. Why am I not getting to where I wanted to be sooner? I already have the 1 year experience. I thought that was the hardest part, getting your foot in the door. Now I'm fighting to get back into the door. I'm trying to do re-entry here. Um, but she really sat down with me and talked with me, and I'll impart to you what she imparted to me is that regardless of what you do decide to do, you're going to suffer. You just have to decide what's worth suffering for.
Man.
Uh, and so she really put that in perspective for me. And I knew that as much as I was afraid of just being someone who was in labor, like labor work, and as much as I was afraid of maybe not ever getting another IT opportunity, I was more afraid of just giving up on myself. I was more afraid of saying in my head, "Oh, I finally resigned. Okay, this is me giving up." I was more afraid of that because that would mean that I'm not me. And she really put that in perspective for me, and that's kind of just what I wanted to impart to you guys. Regardless, because you're never going to feel 100% 100% of the time. That's just part
Right.
of the game. You have your injuries, you have your bad days, you have your mental days, you got your days where I just need to go take a break and get some ice cream, walk the dog. I'll come back to this. Um, but what separates the student from the teachers is coming in every day and knowing how to regulate your emotions and being like, I'm here for this. Regardless of how I feel right now, I know how future me feels about this. And that's who I want to serve. That's all I have for you guys.
All I have, he says that, man. Can I get some reactions in the chat? Put a one in the chat if you learned something today, if a question that you've always had was answered today. Give it up for all of our panelists. Just to transition, I want to give y'all a heads up. I'm going to have my brother Derek here give some closing remarks for the recording and for the general public. But y'all that have the little bit of time that are kicking it here with us, we're going to stop the recording. They're going to have a little bit more of an intimate discussion. You can come off of mute. You can voice any of your questions. We obviously have the talent, right? We've obviously built a good pool of people, a great pool of people with a lot of experience. So with that, I'd be remiss. My boss is somewhere in the background. She's about to yell at me here in a second if I don't bring it up. We have a survey. Don't forget to take the survey. Sunshine just posted it. It's an engagement survey. Helps us continue to bring more content like this. So that way you can tell us exactly what you want to see. Do you want a data analyst? Do you want a data scientist? You want a programmer? Do you want a DevOps person? Whatever it is that you like, short of the president of the United States, we're going to get them here. You know what I mean? So make sure that you air that out. If there was any feedback from today's session that you had, constructive, you know what I mean? Or just positive, right? Hey, I like the way the Summer did his hair today. I like how real Shells was, or I like, the bars that Jarrell spit at the end there. Let us know so that way we can continue producing that product. And without further ado, DMAC, you got audio?
I do. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Let me put you on front and center.
All right.
Talk to the people, bro.
All right. This was an awesome Beyond the Veil look at IT and navigating tech spaces as a Black IT professional. As we close out this webinar, let's show some love for Sunshine and JT for hosting and moderating this session, and give special thanks to Shelly, Soma, and Jarrell for completely crushing this Ask Me Anything session. Last but not least, thank you for attending this event. We hope you gained insights to take with you tonight. And if you have more questions, be sure to join our Discord. Someone's always there to help. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and the website. All the links are in the chat. Don't forget to link up with everybody here tonight and our guest speakers. Their LinkedIn profiles have been in the chat. We hope to see you at some of our upcoming events. Our next community event will be the Beta DevOps Coffee Chat on October 25th and Beta Talks on October 30th. Our next webinar will be on November 12th. Same time, same place, and we will have a guest speaker speaking on careers in the gaming industry. Be on the lookout for that invite, and have a great night. Thank everyone for being here.
Appreciate it. Hey, much love, DMAC. I'd be remiss if I didn't call out my brother Unk for also holding down the chat. If you're in a situation to continue with us, excuse me, there's an echo. If you're in a situation to continue with us, I'm going to go ahead and